Hello. Welcome back to another vlog. I have not vlogged in a very long time. It has been a hot minute since I last decided to do it because quarantine life is boring. But for my birthday, we decided to go to Glastonbury. And a lot of you know Glastonbury is probably my favourite place on earth. I haven't been to that many places, can you tell? But in the UK, Glastonbury is like my favourite place. And we are getting to go on my birthday, which is July 1st. So it is in 2 days, and I am so excited. So this is the start of the Glastonbury vlogs, videos. I am not certain on how good I'm going to be at vlogging in person because I am a shy bean and I don't like being around people, and I certainly don't like drawing attention to myself by having a camera. Like, I don't mind drawing attention to myself by wearing brightly coloured lime green trousers or wearing the giant boots that I wear almost every single day. However, I do feel incredibly uncomfortable carrying around a vlog camera and talking to myself, even though I spend most of my time at home doing exactly that. So I am hoping that I'm going to be able to do some content for any of you who would like to see Glastonbury and who just really enjoy the vlogs, because a lot of you really did seem to enjoy them, and you can come along with me. Now, it is currently the 29th of June. Wow, just forgetting all of my words today. And I have just filmed a video for the main channel. This is probably going to also be on the main channel, but about setting up my Sabbath altar, and I am frantically trying to pack everything that I need to pack, and I am really struggling. I have my suitcase. It's just like a small suitcase. We're only going for a few days. Like, we're going for 3 days so that we're there for a full day on my birthday, and then we're coming back the day after. So it's really brief. We're staying in a hotel that's got super good hygiene. So we're staying in just like a Travel Lodge Premier Inn type place. And so I'm really excited about that. I don't need that much stuff, but it's just kind of gathering it all together because obviously I've got all my camera equipment and I bought some spare batteries to work with my camera and all of that. So I am tremendously excited. I'm also kind of nervous because I always forget something. So I have like a little pile of makeup here, just like the bare basics, you know, green eyeshadow, more green eyeshadow. I just have like a few toiletry things and then my suitcase, and then I'm just going to be taking my laptop so I can edit vlogs and footage and stuff. And also the new episode of Loki comes out when we get to the hotel, so I have to watch Loki when it comes out, otherwise it will be spoiled for me by everyone posting memes on Instagram. So I have to take my laptop for that, and also work, because we all know here I am a workaholic. I have a problem with work. I work way too much. Okay, tangent finished. So I've just put food in, I'm gonna go eat, and then I'm gonna frantically pack up everything else. I have to edit a video tonight that's going up tomorrow, and then we're leaving first thing in the morning tomorrow, which means I am gonna have no time in the morning because I am not a morning person. So that all being said, I hope you enjoyed these vlogs, and I hope that Glastonbury is nice. I'm so excited. It's been 2 years since we were last there, and I've never been for my birthday before, and I'm so excited. And yeah, don't mind my really cringy singing. And yes, I cannot wait till we get there. I'm so excited. We're gonna get there, I think, early afternoon tomorrow. It's about 3 hours-ish, as long as we don't hit any like major traffic, which would be really bad. But we think it's gonna be about 1 o'clock tomorrow. So yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so hungry though. I am going to get food, like, right now. So we are at the hotel now, and it has been a good few hours. My hair is kind of not great. Please just excuse that. We've been here for a while. So we left really early this morning, and by really early I mean like 9:30, and we got here at about 12:30, so it wasn't too bad of a trip. And then we've kind of been pottering around for most of the day, and let me tell you, I still hate vlogging in public. I can't talk to a vlog camera when I'm out and about, so I'm just gonna have to do mostly voiceover, I think, for a lot of this, because I can't do it. It embarrasses me just too much. But we got here at about 12:30 and we went round Wells, and that is just so pretty. I love Wells. We had a walk around the moat, and I will insert in footage of earlier today, the stuff that I did get. So we're in the hotel now, as you can tell. it is nice. It is just a budget hotel, but this room is really, really nice, and I will have to show you around, but please excuse the mess I've already made because I am really good at doing that. So firstly, we have an armchair. Lovely jubbly. We then have this really, really cool bed. Can we just look at the lights? I feel like an e-girl already. Like, all I need is the wing eyeliner and the blush across my nose, and like, I'm set. Please also excuse the fact that my nose is bright red. I cannot take my Benadryl, my antihistamines, because I'm taking other medication that like clashes with it. So my nose is just going to be red for like this entire trip. We have a cool piece of artwork. We have, where is it? There is an AC unit. It's also really, really hot today. So like, when we got here, it was quite cloudy and we didn't think it was going to be that warm. And then all of a sudden it became like 25 degrees, humid as all hell. And it is just like ridiculously hot. So I'm going to briefly show you around. And also the shower, it looks amazing. A very, very rock hard chair. You look at it and you go, this could be really comfy, but no, it really hurts your ass. And then we have this. I love the purple. The purple is so cool. Just excuse the mask. That is my mask of choice for today. It has flowers on it. It's very tacky. And then we have a very ginormous mirror. I am just wearing my lazy clothes today because we had to drive down. But ironically, actually, not ironically, but kind of cool, when we went past the cathedral in Wells, they were actually playing Nirvana because they're doing work on it. So that's cool. And then we have the bathroom, which has a waterfall shower, which I am so excited about. It looks so cool in here. And also, am I the only person that brings my own soap into hotels? I don't know, there's just something about using hotel soap that just kind of wears me out. Hello. So yeah, that is the hotel. I am really, really excited about the bed. It looks really, really comfy and it's purple, and who doesn't love a little bit of purple? So hopefully we're gonna go and get something to eat from Weatherspoons, but I need to watch I need to watch the 4th episode of Loki, because if I don't watch it, then I know that on Instagram today, it will be spoiled. But anyway, enough of that. I will let you have a look at what we did today in Wells, just have a bit of a wander around with us. And yeah, we did go into Glastonbury this afternoon, but I didn't really feel up to filming anything. I just wanted to look around, and I found like 50 books that I want to buy, so we could end up with a ginormous book haul by the end of this. Upon entering Somerset, we headed straight for Wells. Now, although Glastonbury is our end goal, Wells is so close, and it's just become a tradition that we always stop in at Wells first. Now, Wells is a beautiful town in its own right. It has a gorgeous cathedral, beautiful architecture, but the movie buffs out there will likely recognise Wells for a very different reason. It is one of the filming locations for the movie Hot Fuzz. Now, I love the movie Hot Fuzz, and it's really fun to walk around and pick out all of the different filming locations that they used. So if you are in the local area and you really like Hot Fuzz, I would definitely recommend stopping in for a visit and just having a look around and seeing which filming locations you can pick out. Now, we had something to eat and we had something to drink at one of the local coffee shops, and then we started having a bit of a wander round. We had a look at the cathedral, and then we also took a stop at the Bishop's Palace. Now, the Bishop's Palace is beautiful. You do have to pay to enter the actual gardens, but you can see the outside of it for free, and it is absolutely beautiful. We had a bit of a wander around the town. We went along the moat. We saw a swan that really, really didn't like ducks, and I didn't dare get too close, but I did manage to get a really pretty shot of it as it swam past. And we just generally had quite a peaceful start to our trip, just wandering around and enjoying a more natural environment. Wells is a really beautiful place with a lot of history. You can spend a whole day there if you wanted to, but we eventually headed off to Glastonbury. Now, I didn't get too much video footage of Glastonbury, if any, on the first day. However, we did go around and take photos of the different murals. Now, Glastonbury is full of murals. There's artwork everywhere, but these 3 were probably my favourite of the entire day. Hello. It is now day 2. It's my birthday. So I didn't really get that much sleep last night. I think it's like new bed, new environment. I don't know, I didn't really sleep that good, but at least I got some sleep and woke up today and opened a few presents that people had sent me and my family, and got a few birthday messages from my best friends, which was really, really nice. So today we are going into Glastonbury again, where I am probably going to spend way too much money. Honestly, I give myself like one splurge a year on books, and that's when I come to Glastonbury. So there may be a lot of book buying. So I ended up wearing something different today than I intended because it was so hot yesterday. I was like, I'm gonna burn instantly. So I ended up in my like favoritist ever shirt and my favoritist ever jeans. And I'm just hoping that I don't get frazzled and that I don't overheat, because the problem with wearing black all of the time is that it gets very, very warm. My boots are in the car, so I'm gonna have to switch into my actual boots that I'm wearing when we're on our way. So yeah, exciting, and hopefully I can get at least a little bit of footage of like Glastonbury and stuff. So I'll be able to show you like the high street and the murals and the atmosphere of it all, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to show you inside the shops because yeah, that might not be good. I might take a few sneaky clips just to show you guys kind of what some of the bookshops are like and just generally kind of a few little bits and pieces, but no guarantees. I have also picked out my mask of the day. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? I put it somewhere and now I'm not sure where I put it. Anyway, I did pick up a mask of the day. I just have no idea where it's gone. So that is my life right now, and hopefully I will see you guys out and about, probably with voiceover, because talking in public is terrifying. So we just got back into the hotel. It's now about 6:30-ish and one day's worth of shopping has been done, and it was a good one. First thing I did when I woke up was open the few presents that I did get. So a family friend got some truffles, and I love truffles, so I am so excited to try these. And then Paul, many of you know him as Health Friendly, got me his Dark Materials, I completely forgot what it was called then, his Dark Materials book set, which is so exciting. I read the first one, I would say like 12, 13 years ago, and I never read the others, but I really enjoyed the BBC TV show, so I got these, and I'm tremendously excited to start reading them. I am currently reading I can't remember the name of the book, it's the Rose and Thorn, it's about fairies. I am so bad with names. I'm currently reading that series, so once I'm finished with that, I think I'm going to move on to this one. Although I technically need to finish the Mortal Engine series first, I might move on to this because I'm impatient. So yeah, that was how I started this morning, and then I got a few cards. I got one from a couple of friends, and then I got one from my mum and my dad, which I was so happy about. I feel like I'm getting more sentimental as time goes on, like as birthdays keep passing, I'm like, I need to save the card. So that's what I ended up doing. So once I opened all of that, We then went out into Glastonbury to have a bit of a wander round. Now, obviously restrictions are still very much in place, as they should be, so all shops require you to wear a mask. There's hand sanitizer by the door and also dotted around as well. And then a lot of the smaller shops actually have restrictions on the number of people that can be in, so it's usually up to about 6 people depending on the size of the shop. Some shops just have a one-way system if they're big enough. Other shops actually have like a chain that goes across the door that stops you from going in, and you have to be called through when there's, you know, a space for you to go inside. So it's kind of strange and a little bit tricky to kind of work your way around the town and the shops, but believe me, we managed it. I didn't get to all of the shops, mainly because I spent like 2 hours having a conversation with some of the shop owners in the town, and lovely people. We will get to that. So we got there at about 10:30, 10:45, and the first shop started opening at 11ish. So we made our way all the way up the high street to the Wonky Broomstick. I'm not sure if I have any footage of it. If I do, I will obviously insert it. And it's this really, really beautiful shop. It used to be in the Gauntlet, which is like a shopping alley in Glastonbury, but now they've moved onto the high street, and it's a really, really beautiful store. And unfortunately, we were there too early, and so we didn't get a chance to go back today, but I'm hoping that I will be able to go in tomorrow, because I, of course, am planning on going back again because I never get all of my shopping done in one day. So then we slowly started working our way down the high street. And now I didn't get a huge amount of footage from inside shops, but I did get some footage from outside. So we first went into the Wildwood. Now, Wildwood is a really, really beautiful store. I actually saw a necklace that I really, really like. It has the Chalice Well symbol on it. So I'm thinking tomorrow I might go back and get it. I'm always really tentative with pieces of jewelry because a lot of the time I don't necessarily wear them, but this is a really long necklace, so like maybe you might be seeing it tomorrow. So we went in there and it's so, so beautiful, and then we slowly worked our way down to the bookshops. Now, my favourite shop in Glastonbury is Courtyard Books. Now, it's a very, very simplistic store. There's nothing really spectacular about it. It's just a bookshop where everything is, well, most things are secondhand books. Some of them are new, and I, of course, ended up buying a few books in there, and I will probably end up going back tomorrow and getting a few more. Now, the few that I did get in Courtyard Books were these 3. Now, with all of these books, I am hoping to do a full video running down like exactly what I got and why I got them, so that you can kind of see my mindset. For the vlog, I'm literally just going to show you what they are because they're so freaking cool. So the first one is Under the Witching Tree, which looks like this. I have been after this book for a good while, and it is really interesting to me, and it's got these really cool illustrations in it, which I always really like. Now, this one I do believe is as new. I think this one's new. Yes, it is. So inside they tell you like whether it's new or used or like first edition or something, and then they put like the little price. So it makes it super easy to know exactly what you're going for. And like the wall to wall books. There's also a table in the middle that also has books on it, and I could honestly be in there for hours. And in the past, I have been. So I got this one, which I am probably going to start tonight. Honestly though, I'm going to say that about all of them because I cannot just do one thing. I have to do 12 all at once. I then got this one. This is Under the Bramble Arch. Now, this is another traditional witchcraft book, as was the last one. I don't think I mentioned that. Now, this one they did have in a hardback version, and I was so, so tempted to get it, but the price difference between the two was about £11. And although that's not a bad price difference at all, when you're buying a lot of books, it can get a lot, you know, if you're adding like £11 onto the price of a book. So I got this one. This one is also as new because it's a relatively new release, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And then the last one that I got, I did actually get it in hardback. Now, they did have the standard book, but this one is just so cool, and it also has the lettering down the side. And this one is Between the Realms, Cornish Myth and Magic. And once again, this is another as new, and the illustrations are just so pretty. So I got this one as well from Courtyard Books, and it is inevitable that I will go back. They have some really, really interesting ones. Unfortunately, because it was one of the first ones I went into and my anxiety was like through the roof. I ended up feeling really uncomfortable and left really quickly. So hopefully tomorrow, if I go in when I'm not feeling quite so anxious, I will end up with more books, which I'm not sure if that's a good thing or if that is a bad thing. So then we moved across the road into the Speaking Tree. Now the Speaking Tree is another bookshop. It used to be my favourite shop, but that's kind of shifted over the years. Now from what I can tell, Courtyard Books mainly focuses on second-hand and more unusual books, whereas the Speaking Tree mainly focuses on new prints, popular books, and also, I do believe, books that have been purchased from shops that are closing down. So you'll often find that they'll have a lot of a particular book. Maybe that could be because they've bought it from a shop that has gone bust or has closed down and they have taken on all of that stock. Now, I'm not certain on that, but from the people I've spoken to around the area, that seems to be what I think it is. Either way, it's a really, really cool bookshop. It has 2 floors. Now, I only took footage from the top floor because I didn't want to film any of the people in there. That wouldn't really be fair. So the upstairs just gives you an idea of what this place is like. It used to be that the witchcraft books were upstairs and the normal books were downstairs, but they've kind of done a switcheroo. I actually wish they hadn't have done that, because I think people feel a lot more awkward buying witchcraft books and browsing in a really small space, whereas upstairs is very open and there's a seating area and it just gives people a little bit more chance to sit and really process what it is that they want to buy and what they're interested in. I don't know. That's just my personal perspective, obviously. But I ended up buying 4 books and then I got a book bought for me. So the books that I bought myself, we're starting with Walking with Trees. Now, I really want to dive more into British tree magic and Celtic tree magic. A lot of you know that I already work with the Ogham and I work a lot with trees, but I really want to expand on that knowledge. There were a few books out there. There was one specifically on Ogham. There was another specifically on tree spirits and tree magic. This one is kind of a blend of the two, or at least it seems, and it has pretty pictures, which is always a bonus, so I got that one. I then got Blood and Bones. Now, I was so excited to see this. I saw this yesterday when we popped into Glastonbury and I didn't film anything and I was like, yes, I need it. So I bought it because that is obviously how this works. Now, I'm so excited to read this, mainly because a lot of books primarily focus on positive magic. This book is specifically aimed at shadow magic and the dark moon, which a lot of you will know, as I've mentioned, that I typically walk the line between positive and negative magic. I don't really talk about the negative magic much online because a lot of people really don't like it, but a lot of people feel as though the book market, and I feel like this, is mainly swayed towards positive magic for obvious reasons. So it's really refreshing to see a book that primarily focuses on shadow magic and the dark moon instead of all positive love and light and the full moon. And that's not to say that one is right and one is wrong. It's just I like the fact that there are now more options out there, because back in the 2000s and books printed in the late 90s, like the mid to late 90s, it's mostly positive magic and they typically tend to ignore everything else. So really excited to read this. Next up is this one, Scottish Witchcraft. Now, some of you who were on the live stream, the last live stream, will remember I mentioned this book because I really, really wanted to get it. Someone asked a question about Scottish Witchcraft and yeah, all of that jam. And so I was gonna buy this book and then bam, it's in the store. Fantastic coincidence, love it. And then lastly of the books that I bought is this one. This is the Book of Grimoires, and it's essentially a collection of information found in medieval grimoires that once upon a time was mistranslated and has now been correctly translated. So this one's really, really freaking cool, and hopefully when I do the full sit-down video and walk you through all of the books, I will be able to explain it a little bit more. And then, oh yes, there be more. We went into Labyrinth Books. Now, Labyrinth Books often gets forgotten. It's at the other end, well, it's halfway up the high street. It's opposite from the church that's in the middle of the town, and not that many people go in comparison to the other ones, and I think it's because a lot of people get booked out at the very bottom, whereas I'm obsessed with books, therefore I always go in. And I went in once and I didn't really see anything that I loved, and then I went in again and I paid more attention and I found 2 books that looked amazing, and one of them one of them I've wanted to get for a while. So the first is Honouring Your Ancestors. This is a book that I was going to get when it released. I think it released October last year, and I ended up never getting it. It's all about ancestor veneration, and it was in this bookshop, and I was like, you know what? I am going to get it from the bookshop because they deserve my support. And then the other book that I got was actually this one. This is Operative Witchcraft, Spellwork and Herbalism in the British Isles, and it covers more of the folk practices from the medieval period all the way up to the modern times, really, but focuses more on like the medieval Edwardian period, and it looks freaking awesome. So I ended up getting that. Now, we did go into other shops, and some of them I go in just all the time just to look around, and I end up never coming away with anything just because it's not my style or it's not really what I'm interested in. And today I went in and I just wanted to kind of look around, get a feel for things. So I really want to go back to the Wildwood, I think it's just called Wildwood, and get something from there. I want to go into Starchild and get some incense from there. And I am probably going to end up going back to Sons of Asgard again. Now, Sons of Asgard actually sent me a message a couple weeks ago, and they were asking some questions, and then they came onto the live stream, and I was like, okay, I'm going to come down to Glastonbury, and when I do, I'm going to come in and see you. And so I ended up going in today, and it is absolutely beautiful in there. Now, they have told me that they're planning to move shops, so the footage that I do have is only going to be accurate for about the next 4 to 6 weeks, but their shop is freaking gorgeous and genuinely so lovely. Like, I'm really awkward in person. I'm not sure if you noticed, I'm a little bit odd, and I feel much more comfortable behind a camera than I do meeting people. So I always get really, really nervous, but they are so, so nice. And if you have the chance to go in, I would thoroughly, thoroughly recommend. I got a little bag of goodies while I was there. I got some Roman chamomile because I love chamomile. I love Roman chamomile, and my chamomile plants have not developed enough to really produce large quantities of flower. So at the minute, I'm currently using chamomile from other people's plants because mine is still really little. So I ended up getting some Roman chamomile, which, I love chamomile so much. And then I also got some broom tops. Now, I have never seen anyone selling broom tops like in person. It's always, very generic plants. So to find broom tops was like so exciting for me. So I ended up spending 2 hours talking to them, and it was the best 2 hours I could have spent on my birthday. Like, such lovely people. I will leave the links to the shops and the websites that I'm talking about so that if you want to check them out, a lot of them have websites, you can go and do that. But I always like supporting small businesses, and these will go to great use. Right, all that being said, that is what I got today from Glastonbury, and tomorrow I believe we're doing the tour and maybe Chalice Well and maybe most definitely some of the shops again. Now, there is one sad thing, I suppose, and that is that the White Well, which is my favourite place in Glastonbury, is currently closed. It's very difficult to uphold safety regulations in it because it is very dark, it's dimly lit, it's very wet, there's people getting into the water, and it's very difficult to keep it a controlled environment. So I'm really sad, but the White Well I can't go to. But hopefully the tour will be super duper nice. Now, I need to get ready. We are going out for a meal at a new restaurant, which is kind of scary. I am not good with new places, like at all. So I brought with me my favorite green velvet top. I know I'm going to be wearing green. What is going on? So I need to go and get ready, and I need to pee. And yeah, hopefully it is really nice, and yeah, a nice end to my birthday. Hopefully. Oh, and I watched the new episode of Loki last night because I said I was going to, and I did, and holy shit. If you have not seen the 4th episode of Loki, please do so. I would thoroughly recommend. I know that Tom Hiddleston, yes, I am that person who looks up all of the interviews. Tom Hiddleston said that his favourite episodes were episode 4 and episode 5, and I can see why. Episode 4 was freaking amazing, and I'm probably going to rewatch it again because holy shit. Anyway, I'm going to go and get changed, and then I will probably talk to you tomorrow. Probably because I don't want the vlog to be like ridiculously long, although at this rate it's probably going to be about 2 hours, so have fun with that one. So we are back again. It's about 10 o'clock. It's literally just about to go 10 o'clock, and we just got back to the hotel after the restaurant. What is this piece of hair doing? I don't even know. And I'm so tired. It has been a really good day, and food was really, really good. We have never been to this place before. It's called something Lounge, and it's essentially like a franchise called Lounges, and each restaurant has a different first bit of the name. So you've got like something Lounge, and we went in for the first time and it was so good. They did like loads of vegetarian options, which I really appreciate, and I ended up having a vegetarian hot dog with chips and then churros, which was really good but really, really sickly. So honestly, it's been a really, really nice day. I am, however, so tired. It is unbelievable. So I am probably going to have a shower because I am making the most of this waterfall shower. I don't have a waterfall shower. I think most people don't have waterfall showers, and so I am making the mostest of this. And then I'm gonna sit in bed and watch the new true crime documentary that they just added onto Netflix today. And maybe read, but honestly, I'm so tired. I didn't sleep particularly well last night. I slept, but I kind of didn't sleep. You know when like you close your eyes and you wake up and your alarm is going off and you're like, hang on, I just blinked? That's the kind of sleep I had last night. So, a plan: shower, watch TV, play phone games, and sleep. But it has been a really nice birthday. Really nice. It's been a very difficult weekend. Just trying, like, processing everything. It's been a lot, but it's lovely to be back here again. And we still have tomorrow. So tomorrow we're hoping to walk the tour, hopefully. The White Well, as I mentioned earlier, is currently closed, but we might go into the Chalice Well. It really all depends on how much time we have, because we are leaving tomorrow. So we essentially pack up the hotel and then we do whatever we're gonna do. And then we're going home after rush hour tomorrow. So depends on how much time we have, it depends on what we want to fit in. But yeah, I might end up getting some Chalice Well water because it's been about 5 years since I last got Chalice Well water, and I really like using it. And honestly, I'm so tired I can barely think straight. So shopping, tour, maybe Chalice Well, and then home tomorrow. It's been manic. It's been so busy. I have not done so much stuff in such a small amount of time before. So yeah, sleep is needed, which is weird because usually I don't sleep till 4 a.m. and I am exhausted, and it's only just gone 10. So I'm gonna go to bed and I'll talk to you guys in the morning. On the third day, I actually didn't manage to film anything before we left the hotel. We had to check out pretty early and we were just frantically packing. But when we were finished packing, we then made our way straight into Glastonbury again because I'm truly obsessed. So we had something to eat and then we immediately started going up the Tour. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, the Tour is a very large tower on top of a very large hill, and I will in the future have to do a full video on the history of the Tour and some of the folklore because it's really, really fascinating. Now, the Tour is so big and it's so tall that it's often used as a waypoint for the entire local area. So as we were driving home yesterday, we could see it for miles and miles and miles as we were going over the Somerset Levels. Now, the Somerset Levels is essentially a large, very flat expanse of farmland that's crisscrossed with lots of roads and some farm buildings, and it's very easy to get yourself turned around, but because you can almost always see Glastonbury Tour, it makes it so much easier to figure out where you are. there's loads of sheep, and they're so freaking cute. They're adorable. Sheep are like ridiculously cute. Now, when you're going up the tour, there's a few different routes that you can take. The main route is often the one that's signposted, and it's rather shallow, but it contains a lot of steps and a lot of people. And because we've been up so many times, we decided to go up one of the back routes. Now, the route that we took was very long-winded, and there's a few different options you can take. We probably made the wrong decision because it was so hot. It was only 11:30, 12 o'clock, and it was already in the mid-20s, which I know for some of you seems really cold, but 26, 27 degrees Celsius in the UK is rather hot, especially when you're walking up a giant hill. Now, as you're going up, you get amazing views of Glastonbury and the surrounding area, and eventually you come out and you can go into the Avalon Orchard. Now, the Avalon Orchard, I actually didn't realise existed until a few years ago, and it is so beautiful. Unfortunately, one of the trees has fallen over, and this was the tree that was often used to give offerings at Beltane, and it has split down the middle, whether that's because someone started a fire or because of lightning or simply because of gravity. I'm not sure, but it is a real shame. Now, you can continue up the tour through the orchard, which is what we did, and eventually, after a very long climb, you end up at the very top. It is very steep and very warm. We picked like the hottest day to do this. Now, for us, we don't spend too long up there because we've been there a lot. And if you are lucky, on some occasions you will find local people singing within the tower because you do find that it amplifies audio just so beautifully. That's what happened the last time I went. Sometimes you'll also find locals standing at the top who will teach tourists about the history and the folklore surrounding the tour. They do it just because they love it. They're not there all the time. They're mainly there in the peak summer holiday season, typically. On the way back down, we had to stop at the Chalice Well. Now, unfortunately, the White Well is closed at the minute due to COVID restrictions, which I completely understand, but we ended up going to the Chalice Well, which is also truly beautiful, and we rarely actually go in, though I did get distracted by sheep on the way down because they were incredibly cute, so fluffy, but we eventually made it into the Chalice Well. Now, you do have to pay to enter the Chalice Well. It isn't that much. I think it was about £4.50 for an adult, but all of that goes to maintaining the well and getting the water tested, maintaining the gardens, and it's honestly just so beautiful. In the gardens themselves, you do need to have your mobile phone on airplane mode so that you aren't getting phone calls and you aren't distracting other people who are doing meditations and doing rituals and just generally sitting in a very peaceful environment. Now, there's lots of sections to this area, and I tried to be really inconspicuous while I was taking video footage, so some of it isn't great. Some of it you can tell that I'm breathing because unfortunately I didn't bring my tripod because I didn't want to be very conspicuous that I was filming. So you have a lower area which has this beautiful Chalice Well waterfall in it. And this is where I have seen Faye in the past. I've spoken about it in previous live streams of this particular location. You then have a waterfall, which is just so beautiful and so peaceful. And there is actually a pool where you can put your feet in the water and you can just generally enjoy a more active environment where you can be in the water and you can experience it firsthand instead of just looking at it. And then as you're going up, you have a beautiful open garden that has the lion head statue in it. Now, the lion head statue is actually the part of this entire garden that you can drink from. So the water is tested, you can drink from it. I ended up getting just a little bit, just a small bottle for me to take home with me so I can do some workings with it. And you can drink it. It tastes a little like iron because that is what is in the water. That's what makes it red. And it tastes kind of nice, and there's lots of locals in Glastonbury that do drink the water all the time. The gardens themselves are stunning. There's so many little areas where you can sit and you can just enjoy yourself. Wildlife is everywhere. And as you're making your way up the garden even further, eventually you end up at the Chalice Well. Now, I'm going to be doing a full video on the Chalice Well, the White Well, and the Dark Well, which is a whole story in itself. But this is where all of the photographs are taken. This is the Chalice Well. And a lot of people will sit here and do meditations. And when we actually arrived, we ended up avoiding this area because there are a lot of people. We think it was a small group doing a meditation around the edge of the well, and we didn't really want to disturb them. So this is really what people come to see, and it's so beautiful and it is so unbelievably peaceful. And then as you go through the rest of the garden, you end up in an archway, and then it leads you out onto a nice, beautiful, wild meadow type environment where you can just sit and relax in the sunshine. And I, of course, as always, managed to get sunburned because I'm daft and I once again forgot to put sun cream on. This has just become a yearly tradition for me. Every single birthday, I always seem to get burned. Once we finished at the Chalice Well, we'd spent about 2 hours in there. It's so lovely. You can genuinely spend the entire day in there if you wanted to. I would love one day to go down and just spend the day and have a book and just sit and read and drink the water, and it would just be absolutely glorious. But we didn't really have time for that. It was already 3 o'clock and most of the shops closed at about 4:30, so we headed back into town. Now, I had the plan to not spend that much money. However, plans change. We ended up going back into Sons of Asgard, and I bought a couple of incenses because I really wanted to get them. So I will be showing you all the items I got from Glastonbury in a separate video that will hopefully be up soon. I then ended up getting the Chalice Well necklace from Wildwood, which I will also show you in that video. And then I may or may not have made it back into Courtyard Books, where I may or may not have cleared out their traditional witchcraft shelf. Let's just ignore that for now. Let's just pretend I didn't spend way too much money on books. And then we may or may not have gone into Philippa Bowers, which is a sculptor at the very top of the high street, or closer to the top of the high street. And my parents may or may not have got me a statue. Although, that being said, I am paying for half of it because I'm not letting my mum get all of it, and it is absolutely stunning. So I now have her sitting on my Ceridwen altar. I am, of course, back home again with my microphone. That night, we ended up going to the same Lounges restaurant where we had the most amazing mac and cheese imaginable before driving home. And I'll be honest, this entire experience has just been absolutely lovely. It was difficult because of restrictions and anxiety, and it's just been a very strange couple of years. But we were very safe with how we went about it. Masks were always worn. We had like 15 bottles of hand sanitizer with us. I am also exceptionally paranoid, and I typically just avoid people anyway. So it was very enjoyable. Stressful, but I am 100% going to miss this place. So I apologise for not having any footage of me talking necessarily on the 3rd day. It was just so hectic, I didn't really have time to stop and talk, but I hope that you enjoyed these vlogs. I hope that it wasn't too tedious or too long, and that maybe you got a little bit of extra information out of it, because a lot of you ask me about Glastonbury and want to know what it's like, and hopefully this can give you a little bit of insight into the kind of shops that are there and just the general atmosphere. I didn't get to show a lot of the kind of street performers and the artists that are there just all the time because I didn't want to film them without their permission, and I also didn't want to stop what they were doing to ask them. But anyway, I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did like it, feel free to give it a like. It really means so much to me. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, I would absolutely love that. You guys mean so much to me. I hope you have a marvelous magical day, and I will see you and talk to you in another video. Bye!